Hello nurses and hello top-notchers! Welcome back to our YouTube channel. So our topic for today is all about your types of loss. Okay? So lumabas na po ito last board exam, so kailangan pag-usapan po natin itong iba't ibang klase ng losses. So take note nurses that one framework to examine the different types of losses is by using the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At alam naman po natin na kapag sinabi nating Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it begins with your physiologic needs, which is the of-nurse mnemonics, the oxygen, the fluid, nutrition, elimination, rest, and sleep. Then followed by your safety and security needs, which is the safe place to live and safe place to work. And followed by your love and belongingness or the satisfying relationship. The next set of needs is the self-esteem needs, which is leading to the feeling of adequacy and confidence of an individual. And the last and final need is the self-actualization need, or the ability of an individual to realize one's full innate potential. So alam naman po natin itong ating Maslow's hierarchy of needs, from physiologic needs to our self-actualization need. So pag-usapan na natin itong types of loss. So if we say loss is defined as an actual or perceived situation in which something that is valued is changed or no longer available. So that is the definition of loss. So we have our different types of loss, and let's begin our discussion about your physiologic loss. So pag sinabi po natin physiologic loss, meron po tayong nawalang part ng ating katawan, like your amputation of limb, mastectomy, hysterectomy, or the loss of your mobility. So kapag ang individual ay nakaranas ng amputation ng kanyang part ng kanyang katawan, like the amputation of your limb, nagpa-undergo ng mastectomy, hysterectomy, or any kind of procedure removing part of your body, that is a physiologic loss. Or if the individual has a loss of mobility, like in your CVA or na-stroke po siya or na-paralyze po siya, that is a kind of physiologic loss. Then next, after ng ating physiologic loss, we have your safety loss. Pag sinabi naman po nating safety loss, that is the loss of a safe environment, like in the presence of your domestic violence and your child abuse. So pag meron po tayo ditong domestic violence, like the violence against women and children, and the kind of your child abuse and any type of public violence, that is an example of a safety loss because there's a loss of a safe environment. And then next, we have a loss of security and the loss of sense of belongingness. So the loss of loved ones will affect the need to love and the feeling of being loved. So any changes in relationships such as birth, marriage, divorce, illness, and death of loved one, that is an example of your loss of security and the loss of sense of belongingness. So take note, ito po yung lumabas last board exam. The death of loved one is an example of your loss of security and loss of sense of belongingness. Again, so example is your marriage, birth, divorce, illness, and death. Then, after ng ating loss of security, we have a loss of your self-esteem. So, any change in how a person is valued at work or in relationship, that is a loss of self-esteem, okay? So, example naman sa ating loss of self-esteem, we have your retirement, loss of job, and pati yung mga nangyari sa loss of security, pwede makapek po yan sa ating loss of your self-esteem. So, kapag nagkaroon din dito ng death of loved ones, pwede din ito makabagsak ng ating self-esteem or the loss of your self-esteem. But the loss of your loved one or the death of loved one, that is the loss of security and the loss of sense of belongingness. And the last type of your loss is the loss related to self-actualization. So, any external or internal crisis can block a person's potential in striving for the fulfillment of its goals. Okay? So, that is the loss related to self-actualization. So, example dito is if a person wants to accomplish something, then na-realize po niya na hindi po ito magiging materialize, that is an example of your loss related to self-actualization. Okay, to summarize your different types of losses, we have your physiologic loss. Example ng physiologic loss, these are the amputation of your limb, mastectomy, hysterectomy, or the loss of your mobility, or any form na nagkaroon po tayo ng loss of body part. Then next, kapag sinabi naman natin safety loss is the loss of a safe environment like the presence of your home violence or the domestic violence, the child abuse, and your public violence. And pag sinabi naman natin loss of security and the loss of sense of belongingness, that is the loss of your what? Loss of your loved ones. We have your birth, marriage, divorce, and presence of illness. And for the loss of self-esteem, that is any changes in how a person is valued at work or in any relationship, that is a loss of your self-esteem. Then the last type of your loss is the loss related to self-actualization. So any external or internal crisis that will block a person's potential to fulfill its goals, that is a loss related to self-actualization. So take note, lumabas na po ito last board exam. So kailangan po natin itong pag-aralan at kailangan natin itong isa puso at intindihin para kapag na-encounter ulit natin yan sa ating nursing practice 5, may tatama na po natin ang tamang sagot.